Hey everybody, Rob Gauthier the ET Whisperer. I wanted to share this clip with you. 3 long-time professional channelers, 3 channelers who've been doing this for well over a decade and a half. I'm the shortest time in professional channeling out of this group at 15 years, from 2010, and these 2 ladies, Wendy Kennedy and Pamela Aaralyn, have been doing it longer than I have. All 3 of us are talking about contact and what that will look like when it happens. It's funny because we've been dealing with contact for so long, and that's been a part of our normal lives, and now it's becoming more of a public aware, and people are talking about it in mainstream media. So it's a very interesting thing. Also, all 3 of us are going to be featured on the channel panel in November in West Virginia. We're doing a live event out there with amazing channelers like Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, Wendy Kennedy, Pamela, myself, Jamie Price, just a ton of amazing channelers who've been out there for a while, whose names you can find by going. I'll link that below. We all did an interview on the Omni Awaken Evolution channel, which is a new channel with my friend Felix, who came together and brought us all into a place to talk about all the relevant topics in ET contact channeling and how life is working now and how this type of information integrates. So I'm going to link the entire interview below and also the information for the channel panel. I hope all of you guys enjoy. I love you guys, and we'll see you on the other side.
Let's do a thought process scenario, right? We're all sitting at home. You turn on the TV or whatever media that you watch, and people are losing it. People are freaking out. Oh shit, there's this thing that just landed in the park next to my house. A little drone came down and parked. Your family members are calling you. Neighbors are knocking at your door. Like, you talk about this stuff. What is going on? We're freaking out. Let's start with you, Wendy.
Welcome to the party. To me, it's, to be able to channel, to be able to connect with other beings, that's the most normal thing. It's actually very abnormal to me not to be open to that kind of thing. So I think for people, and one of the messages and the things that my guides work with people on is pay attention to what is coming up in you, because that's what you need to deal with. And that's different for everybody. So as you're watching the news, whether it's disclosure or whether it's, the latest political thing to go on, pay attention to what gets triggered and activated in you. That's where you need to focus. So if it's a safety issue that's coming up, then you need to start working with your sense of safety. And that's one, to know, beings who are showing up, if they wanted to wipe us out, it would have already happened. Just to think things through logically. If they've shown up, they have far superior technology. And then also just to use your own discernment. Just because somebody is showing up, it doesn't mean that they have the best information for you. Beings have an agenda. The guides talk about that. They say, we have an agenda. It just happens to be in alignment with what yours is. We want to help you to become stewards of the planet. We want to help you to become empowered, but we've got an agenda. And like Rob was saying, we've got a different perspective. So information is colored by their perspective. It's colored by mine as I interpret the frequency and put it into language for you. And then it's colored by you as you receive that frequency. So there's a lot of distortion that can happen. And it's about you staying in your power and deciding what resonates with you and what doesn't resonate with you. And as you get triggered and activated, deal with that. And again, whatever comes up for you at the interdimensional level is also playing out human to human. So if you're not feeling safe interdimensionally, then there's stuff going on with you at a personal level where you don't feel safe. Maybe with your partner, you don't feel emotionally safe to share your perspective, which looks very different than the safety you might feel, or lack of safety, with an ET showing up in a craft. Or maybe you don't feel safe at work because you're not sure your job's going to be there next week. Maybe there are layoffs happening. Again, it's the same frequency, but the mask that it wears, how it shows up physically is different. And you can deal with it at any particular level. You can deal with it at the human to human level, or you can deal with it interdimensionally. You're going to heal it holographically. So if you heal it in one area, you're going to heal it in every area of your life.
So would you say you're pretty confident, like if something were to physically land on the planet, there's nothing to worry about? We don't really have to freak out and like people like lose their mind and start jumping off of buildings, God forbid. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think you still have to use discernment. Are they going to blow you up? No, I don't think it's that kind of thing. Is the advice that they're giving the best advice? Maybe, maybe not. And I think that's what we have to pay attention to. Higher isn't better. It's just different. And, the guides are very clear. They don't know how this is going to play out. If it can be a manipulated event, and usually the manipulated event is going to get us focused on the negative aspects of it. The fear, generating more and more fear, because there are beings who want to continue to control what's happening on this planet. And in order to do that, they need us out of our power. And that is the way they do that is by generating fear. There's social engineering that happens where we are focused on fears. And if it's a more benevolent showing or arrival, they're going to work with us in such a way that it helps to get us to be empowered. They will share information with us, but it's kind of like a really good teacher who isn't just doing it for you. They want to show you how to do it so you can do it for yourself.
That's great. That's great. Pamela, your turn. Spaceship lands on the park block from your house. What do you tell everyone?
I tell everyone that prayer is the lifeline to your soul. So many people in our more modern, our spiritual communities are terrified of words that religion has abused you with for the past 10,000 years. You're afraid of the word grace. You're afraid of the word holy. You're afraid of the word prayer. Why? Prayer is meditation with a different word. We need to contact our self, capital S. We need to be in a sacred, holy vibration. But while we're still afraid of the word holy because we've been so battered with religion, how are we going to get there? So I would say I hope you're prepared. I hope that you're prepared by training your mind and your thoughts and your emotions and your words into a sacred holy vibration so that what you attract is in alignment with that. And I would say, don't look at me. Go here. Don't ask me, because I'm going to be the first person out there with my cell phone like the rest of you going, hi, because I don't have fear, right? I don't have any of that, right? I'm going to be the person boots on the ground. So you won't find me when that happens. I will be there. I will know it's coming, and my bare feet will be on the ground, and I may not be kumbayaing or anything, but I will definitely be sitting back and observing everyone, and I will come back later ready to tell you what I observed. But in that moment, I suggest that you don't go to anyone but yourself. And now is the time to prepare for that.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And I'm with you on that. I'm going to be the first sucker to run through the yellow tape and past the cops and dive and touch it. They're going to have to drag me out. No, you idiot, don't touch it. But I'm going to be that guy, the crazy guy.
I'll
like,
be there with you. We can play this shit. Let's go.
Rob, what do you tell everybody? Maybe Aridif comes and like parks over your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, So I've thought about this a lot, really, in general sense of things, and Wendy and Pamela did a really great job of kind of covering the aspects of allowing yourself and knowing yourself and connecting to yourself. Those are all really important things. But I've known a ton of people in our community who want nothing but contact, and then when they have it, it scares them. And so I think first, understanding why that happens. There's trauma with us, with ET beings. Not every ET race that's connected with Earth has been nice or loving or good. There have been some nasty energies here before, little or long. So I think we do hold some trauma as a collective. In our DNA, probably ancestrally, we hold some of that trauma. But the recognition of that is important. The first time I saw a UFO, I was terrified. But after I started working in channeling, I'm able to understand the energy, so it doesn't traumatize me anymore. I would say if people are genuinely interested in contact, go try to do that before they land. Go out, do the CE5s, do the meditations, do the energy of contact work in any way. And there are a bunch of people who do it. There's a bunch of people who teach it. So it's really easy to connect with someone who can help you with that. Secondly, don't judge yourself or beat yourself up for the way you react. You're going to react the way you need to react, the way that the energy is there. And that's what I tell my friends and family. My family, when Pamela said those words that kind of trigger people in our community, I'm one of those people. I could barely say the word God before a couple of years ago. So that has been a traumatizing factor. My whole family is very religious. So they would call me, and I know what they would say already, and I would talk to them the best way I could. But yeah, their minds would probably already be made up on a lot of things. God bless them. But yeah, you deal with it, and you don't beat yourself up for reacting in a way that you hoped you might not have.
Can I add something to that? Rob, I love what you were saying about how when you saw that ship, the experience you had. I don't think we know how we're going to react until it happens. I had a physical experience, an encounter, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years ago, and being showed up at like 3 a.m. in a dark room, and I couldn't see. And I woke up, I could smell them. And I heard in my head, now, and then I couldn't move. And I had wanted to connect with beings in this space where I was at, but I was like, no. Not at 3 a.m. in a dark room. That is not exactly what I had in mind. But I had so much fear in my body that I was not expecting. And they were very, they were like, oh, well, you said you wanted to connect with us. But I was like, yeah, I guess I should have been more specific. But, I think we don't know. And after having, at that point, I'd been channeling for 20 years, but I also had trauma from past ET experiences where I was taken to a ship and things were done that I didn't realize how much of that was still sitting in my body. So I appreciate you saying that because, we don't really know. And the guides will say that, if they showed up for a lot of you, you'd be in the fetal position on the floor. So do your inner work first, and that will help you.